Hey, hello guys, welcome to this video on Visual Studio Code. And this video is about setting up your Visual Studio Code for editing your code in any of your programming languages. So for me, I have created this video to explain how you can code in Python using Visual Studio Code. So in this video we will be covering these topics, that how you can download and install VS. Then you need to install some plugins so that you can have a IntelliSense. I will explain you what is IntelliSense later on. Then we will have a quick tour of the interface of the Visual Studio Code and the various option available for us in the file menu and in other menus. And then we will be looking at the changes in the appearance of the Visual Studio Code, what changes we can do. And then there are few settings like autosave and indentation, which I will be talking about. And then finally we will be pushing and pulling our code from GitHub using this Git plugin. So let's get started. And first of all, let's install VS, and then we will proceed further. So to install VS, what we have to do is go to https. This is the place where you can download, and here you just need to type download and you will be redirected to the download page. And this is the URL which you need to visit if you want to install GitHub, install Visual Studio. And once you have gone to this page, you will be given three options, among which you can select as per your operating system. So in my case, as I have installed Ubuntu on my system, I will be downloading the .dev package. And there are several options here, as you can see the highlighted one, that DEV is one which is for the Ubuntu. So I will download this file. So since I have already downloaded this file, and it is kept at this location. So it is kept at this location. So this is the file which I have downloaded. And once you have downloaded this file, you can just write dpkg-i and then the name of this file. So it will just install this file. In my case, I have forgot the password for this. Okay, so you just need to install this package using this, and then you need to pass the password for this. So this is the second step which you need to follow. So this one was the first step, then this is the second step. Install the package, for example Ubuntu. You need to do the below, and once it is done, you can quickly launch it. So that is again quickly launch, or you can say you can launch your VS Code. And here is how you can launch it. So it will appear here, and now you can type Visual Studio. So this is the interface which Visual Studio provides us. So if I check, we have covered our first point. Now let's come to the second point, that is how to install plugin for IntelliSense. So let's first discuss what is IntelliSense. So here, if you will see that whenever I am going to type a code in Python, you can see that these options are coming, and this editor is trying to detect actually what the user wants. So in my case it is saying that whether you want to type import or you want to type import as name. So these are the several options which this editor is thinking that the user is trying to type. So as per your choice you can select whatever you want to type. So this is what is called as IntelliSense. And in case of Python we need to install a plugin, that is the Python IntelliSense, and in my case it is already installed. And for the one in which the for you or for other guys, they can install it from here. So you can just write Python IntelliSense, and you can see the first one, which is provided by Microsoft, is installed on my system. And here is an important point, that if you want to see what all plugins are installed on your Visual Studio, you can just write @installed, and it will list down all the plugins which are installed on your system as of now. So in my case, coming back to my point where I have written Python IntelliSense. So this is the plugin, and it will provide you with the several options. So here it is saying uninstall, but since it is already installed on my system. And what is the purpose of this? A Visual Studio Code extension which with rich support for the Python language. And what it helps us with, it helps us with linting. Then such as it provides us the feature like IntelliSense in linting, debugging, code navigation, and code formatting, and all these options are provided this by this particular plugin. So this you can install, and you can then easily get help whenever you are typing your code. And along with this we can also see that what are all these options. So first option is saying it is a file explorer, so it tells me about the files which are present in my present folder. So this is the explorer, and it is like this. Then second option is to search through or navigate through your files and find out any patterns and replace. So there are several options which are provided, like you can match the cases, or you just have a search for the whole words, and other things like regex you can search for. So this third option is for the source control versioning system, that is the Git, which we will be discussing later. Then fourth is to run your program. So in my case, if suppose I want to run my Python program and debug it for some issues, then I can use this option. Fifth one we have just seen, it is for listing down your plugins and installing new plugin or searching a plugin over the net. So this is the option where you can find out the extensions and install. Extension is kind of you can say plugin, so which you can install or add to your current Visual Studio software. And then finally testing, this I don't know, these are all the what you can say extra plugins which I have added to my system. So this is for testing Docker, Jupyter and Kubernetes. So I will not take these things, because these will not be visible to you on your system, because these are extensions which I have installed separately. So these are the default option which will be present on your system. And the first one is again explorer, search, then git, versioning system, then run and debug, and finally the extension. So these are the options which will be available to you on your Visual Studio. So we have seen what is IntelliSense. So we can say it tells us about, or it detects what user wants to type and how to install it. We have seen that search using the extension tab and type Python IntelliSense, and it will be installed. Then we have seen that you can search for your installed plugins using search in extension tab using @installed. This I have shown that how you can see. Then you can also use @recommended. Then you can also use category. So these are the various options which you can use in your Visual Studio in the extension tab. Let me show you again. So if suppose you want to see what are the recommended plugins for you, then you can type here recommended, and it will show you that what are the recommendations for us to install on our Visual Studio. So these are the various things which Visual Studio thinks that you should have on your system, and it is all upon you whether you want to install it or not, like Vim emulation for Visual Studio Code. So if you want to install this, you can, but since I don't require it, I will drop these. I will just leave it. Then if you want to search again category for any plugin, then here you can just type category, and then suppose you want to install some plugin for the formatter but you don't know the name of the plugins, so you can just say that you want some plugin which are in the category of formatters. So it will show you various plugins which are available in the formatter. So Python, this one is the one formatter which you can install. So I have this already. So it is kind of formatter also, code formatting, and what it does is it provides you with a indentation and beautifying your code while you type. So these are the various things which you can search for in the extension tab. There are several other options, so you can, I will tell you where you can get these information at the end of the video. And moving on further to third point, so we have taken a quick tour of this. Let's see other options which are available. So let's go to the Visual Studio. Here you can see that there are several tabs available, like file, edit, selection. So in the file you can see new text file. If you want to create a new text file, you can just say new text file. Then these are the common options which are all available in your other editor as well. So I think you may be familiar with this, but one important option which is here is autosave, and it is not by default on. So you should always select this as on, so that whatever you type, it is auto saved on your editor, on your system. Then edit option is also common, so there is no special option which is different from other editors. Then one important option which Visual Studio Code provides is the command palette, and this command, and here you can see that it provides us with a several what you can say search option which you can do here. Like in case of Git, I can search for what are the options which are available with Git, and it will provide me that with the options which are available with this. So if I say git clone, so it will say me, it will then again provide me another option, that clone from GitHub. Similarly, you can search for other patterns, like suppose you want to do something with a plugin, install plugin. I don't know if it will say anything like this. So it has opened one more tab and it's saying no. So I will come to the section later in my next video. Let's move to further. So as of now, we can say that command palette is basically used for finding your terms, like build image in Azure, and suppose you want to create registry but you don't know how to, then you can just click here and it will carry you forward in that. So suppose I want to clone but I don't know how to clone, then I can just write clone here and it will say me that whether you want to do git clone or you want to do git clone recursive and all these things. So it is a kind of help which is available on VS command palette. Then Other options are like appearance, you can change. So for appearance I don't see much here until and unless you have some plugins installed on your system. Then there is important thing, that is source control. So this will be taking up in the next, or in the next what you can say, topic. So as of now we are just going through the things. Then debugging you can do using this VS, so that also you can go through the docs which I will be sharing later, where you can read about it. And then finally help. So from here also you can go to the documentation of GitHub, oh sorry, in of VS. So if you will click there, it will take you to the official documentation where you can get the help. So this is the place where you can search for the documentation. So we have covered our uh, quick tour, and in this you have to take care of autosave, which we have already covered here. Then let me quickly discuss what is how you can configure your indentation. So suppose you have some file which you have created, and in case of Python it is usually set that we should keep a indentation of 4 spaces. So right now I have indentation of 4 spaces, but suppose if you want to keep a space of 2, then you can just select it from here, and then you can say indent using spaces, and then you can configure it easily to 3. Now if I press tab here, then you can see that it will take me to 3 spaces ahead from the current position. So now if I hit tab, it will be a 3 space. So by default it is 4, but if it is not 4, you can always configure it to 4. So this was a important thing which I wanted to discuss about. Then language, it is already there. Then there are a few other options which we need not to change. Then your code is running with Python 3, and if you want to change this one, then you can select it from here, Python 2.7. so you can select it from here if you want to run it with 2.7, but I want to run my code with Python 3, so I will select Python 3. So we have also seen this part, so I will just delete it, because we have already seen this part. So let me select this one and remove it. Here we have seen the indentation. Then select change appearance. So for changing the appearance, you can just quickly go here and you can just select some extension if you are aware about. So I have installed one theme, which is this one, and if you want to select any color theme, you can just go to again command palette, and you can say color theme here. So suppose you want to some other, this one color theme, then you can select it from here. Again go to command palette. If you don't want it, you can just say color theme. So I will just keep it as it was earlier. So this is how you can change your theme also. So you can go to command palette again, and then you can select it from here, that preference color theme, and you can change your theme as per your choice. So this is how you can change your appearance for your Visual Studio Code. Then finally we will come to Git plugin. So for this you need to have Git installed on your system. So for installing Git, again just do sudo apt-get install git. In case of my system, it is already installed, and let me show you quickly. Install git, so it will say it is already installed. If I do git version, git version, so in my system it is already installed. But if it is not installed in your system, you can just first install it on your local system. Once it is done, you can go to your Visual Studio Code, and then from here you can go to source control, and from there, okay, so now what we will do is we will just quickly clone a project to our on our system, and we will see how this git works. So we have installed git on our system. Now we want some project to be maintained by us using this Visual Studio. So what I will do is I will just clone a project, and for this also, when you will first run this git clone, it will ask you for the authentication. Since I have already done it, it is not asking me for any authentication because I have already integrated it. So once you have installed this plugin, so again I will go to extension part. Here I will do git plugin. So if you will see in the installed section, you can see that I have it is okay, so it may be some internal thing to it. Not sure. Git history, git clone. So it is internal to VS, so it already provides some git mechanism which is already supported in this. So you just need to go to the command palette and type here that you want to clone a repository, and it will automatically give you the options like what you want to do. Just type git clone there, and then you want to do view command palette, git clone you want to do, and it is I want to clone it from the git. So I have already created one project. In our case, in my case, I have created one project, but let's create one new project here. So this is the place, GitHub, where you can create your own project and pull it into VS to maintain it. So let's create a new repository, and in this we can say demo tutorial, and then we can say create this repository with a readme file. And what I want to say, this is just a VS demo, and just create a repository here, and it's a public repository which I have created. And then you can say that you want to clone it. So just refresh it, or it is already there. No, git command palette, clone from GitHub. It will fetch the new list, and here you can see demo tutorial is there. Now it is saying that I want to download this, so it will open a new tab, and it is asking me where you want to clone this repository. So what I will do is I will just create a folder here inside my Python VS, and here I will just create a new folder, and in this we will say demo for VS, and create it. Then we will just say we want to clone it here. It has cloned it. Now it is saying, would you like to open the clone repository or add it to the current workspace? And we will say open. Then this way it will open, and this has opened our project which we have cloned. So as we selected in our GitHub that we want a readme file in this, so this is the initial commit which it is showing. Now if suppose I want to add a new file to my this project on GitHub, so what I will do is just I will just create a new file here using this button, and if I will hover over it, it will show me that you want to create a new file. Yes, then I will say it's a Python file, so let's create a test file. And as you can see, I will just write print, hey, this is just an intro. So this is how I will save it. Then here you can say run without debugging, and it will open a console for you and will just show you the output of the program. And now you can see here it is saying you, that is this file is untracked. You can see the message. Now what I want to do is I want to add this file to my repository. So what I will do is I will just go over this, then I will go over this, I will go to git this one, and this is showing me the difference. Close this one. So when I will click over this one, it will show me that this file is untracked. So what I will do is I will just add or stage these changes. So what does stage means? It means that you are adding, you are just performing a git add to this file. So what I have done is I have performed a git add. Now you can see that it is saying, it is giving me other options like discard all changes, and if I hover over this file, it will say that you want to unstage this file which I have just staged. And other option is I want to commit, or I should commit this file. So if you want to commit this file to the repository, you can say here that this is just our test commit, and you can just commit this message. So now this change has been committed to your local copy of your repository. And now what I want to do is I want to upload it further to my remote location that is on GitHub. So this is saying push one commit to the origin main, and this is one way in which you can do. And the other way to do the same thing is just click on these three buttons, and here you will see push pull option. So you can say push, and then it will push to the remote branch that is the main origin, and it is showing here that this branch is there. If you want to select any other branch, just create a new branch from here. So you can try out these options on your own. So now what we have done is we have just pushed a new commit from our Visual Studio to our remote hub GitHub. So let me refresh this page, and now you can see this is just a test commit, and the file which we have just created has been put to the remote git location. So this is a short video how you can use Visual Studio and why. And now why should we use Visual Studio finally? So this question would have been the first one, why should we use VS Code? So I would say it takes a small space, or you can say a small space required to install a small size, we can say a small size of software that is around 84 MB. And memory, if you talk about the memory footprints, it's around 200 MB when you are running it, or you can say less than 200 MB. So this is what makes VS good editor. So this was the quick video on VS Code. If you want to learn further on VS Code, you can debug or you can read on your own, and this is the place where you can just read more on GitHub, and I also read from this same place. So you can go through these videos, and here are the quick short videos which I have been provided by VS, by their official members. So you can go through these videos if you have any problem in understanding this quick tutorial. So thank you guys for being with me, and please subscribe, and have you can ask your questions in comment section. I will be happy to answer your questions if I have it. Thank you.